Walk like an Egyptian, or run like one, because this is the Sonic Lost World playthrough, and welcome back to part 2, where we take on the World 2, which is Desert Ruins. Desert Ruins is pretty interesting. Just a sec, let's see if there's a cutscene here. Yes. Eggman tormenting a poor bunny rabbit. Someone needs to get paid up in here. I think this is where they introduce how Eggman's able to control the Deadly Six. It's pretty kind of funny if you ask me. As soon as I first saw this cutscene, that shell reminded me a lot of that episode of SpongeBob when they're in Kelp Forest and they obey the shell for some freaking reason. The conch shell, I believe it was called. And apparently the Deadly Six are also followers of it, so they can't help but follow Dr. Eggman's sanitary rules. But anyways, this is Desert Ruins Act 1. As a whole, though, Desert Ruins is just crazy in terms of both the difficulty and the kind of level, atmosphere, and designs used in it. This first one right here is, first of all, love the music in this level in particular. And secondly, wow, what a huge difficulty spike. In comparison to Windy Hill Zone, you got so much death traps and enemies that can kill you in one hit, like these big worms we'll be seeing, for example. So this is another level of the 3D and 2D integration. Basically, this part of the level is going to try to teach you how to do wall jumps. It works pretty much how you think it does. You just, first of all, you have to be running against the wall. You can't be in your walking animation. And then you just keep pressing the jump button like any other platforming game. The cool thing about it is that you can give yourself a little bit more oomph with the spin dash towards the end of a wall jump, just in case you barely are able to make it up a wall. Basically, though, for these 2D sections, you're going to want to avoid these giant killer worms by whatever means necessary, because as I said before, if they eat you, it's automatic death, of course. So I'm just trying to avoid it right here. Here's the second new wisp in the game, the Eagle Wisp. I'll give the credit to this game. This wisp is way more useful than the Asteroid Wisp in the sense at least you can fly above the enemies in danger. However, the controls, oh my gosh, the controls for this thing are a bit hard to get used to. And I'm talking about the button controls, not even the motion controls. I didn't even go around to playing with that. But generally, you don't really need it to get any of the red rings, but if you just want to avoid danger from below, granted you're going to have to watch out for those big purple blob things that the giant killer worms spit out. But generally, you can get through the stage with less trouble by using it. I just wish the controls were better, and then, granted, I would be using it more often. And I also wish it was more faster, because if you're a speedrunner, if you just want to blaze through the level, there's no way in heck you're going to be using that the Red Eagle Wisp. Okay, so the final 2D section, this is where it gets really interesting. We're going to have to watch out for killer worms from both left, right, and up and down. Generally, if you wait toward these sections that I'm just skipping right now, the worms will eventually pop out. So just keep the pace going and try your hardest not to get killed. I'm not gonna lie, I died a lot the first time I played this stage. It was just a big, huge difficulty jump. This is more World 3 kind of material, if you ask me. A little bit hectic for World 2, the first stage of World 2, mind you. So, anyways, let's keep going up. Ugh. I'm coming up. I want the world to know. Okay, enough of that. This particular area right here that I just finished, this is really, it's going to be for a future part, but it's the best place to grind for all the wall jump missions in the game that Omochao needs you to do. This place too, as well. So just a little heads up there for the future. Granted, I'm going to cover in the future video about that. This little bell thing right here, it always gives you a red ring, so I always recommend going for it. You basically have to follow it and touch it until it spits out a... Boom! Yeah, there, a red ring. I'm not sure, sometimes maybe I'm thinking of the green rings, but I think they also sometimes give you a 1-up. Don't quote me on that. So now let's take care of this. Let's just speed through. And there's another bell thing that we need to do. Kind of repetitive, you know, it would have been nice to just have it in a separate location, but whatevs. This darker sand course slows you down, so kind of just have to speed right through it, or just jump over it. You know, there's no need to walk for it. I don't understand why some people just feel the need to walk instead of jump. And the red ring should be right here. Boom. And now let's just finish this stage really quickly. Oh, the fire orbinauts. Those enemies are really annoying, by the way, because the flames chase after you. So I recommend homing attacking them as soon as they catch eyes on you, or else you're dead. And I'm going to show off something really cool here. It's a reference to Sonic 1. It's basically the jump bonuses, if you guys remember it, towards the end of each level in that game. If for Sonic 1, if you jumped in a certain area, you would get a jump bonus for your score. In this game, it depends how far away you jump from the animal capsule. That will determine how much score you can get. And by the way, I have no clue what the score does in this game, other than the fact of it re-unlocking DLC stages, which you'll see on a way later part. But besides that, score is kind of pointless in this game, if you ask me. I really wish there was a score attack mode, actually. I mean, this game encourages time attack, but I think it'd really do well with a score attack as well, because aside from unlocking the DLC stages after you're playing them, there's really no other point to it. So I believe now we're going to be, yep. Here's the second member of the Deadly Six. Can you guess what stereotype he is? Now this guy has a very interesting name, to say the least. His name is Zomom. No, I'm not kidding, that's his actual name, Zomom. Obviously his mom didn't do a good job of naming him. Like, a name like that is pretty much asking for your mama jokes to be made at him. Or in this case, Zo-Moma jokes. And the sad thing regarding Zo-Mom's intelligence, he probably wouldn't know the difference between if they were making fun of him or his mom. Wow. I don't know if that was intended by Sega, but wow. So now time for a change of pace, literally, pretty much. Everyone likes to compare this stage, or the sections in this game where Sonic's constantly running, to the Mach speed sections of Sonic 06. And yes, they're very, very similar, but of course Sonic 06 wasn't the very first game to do it. That's pretty much what it's most well known for. Anyways, I gotta say, which I'm not gonna try to show off here, but Sonic's death animation for when he crashes into anything is very hilarious. It's like a Looney Tunes styled cartoon. He just smacks right onto the wall. It's pretty funny. Probably one of the best death animations you can get in a Sonic game. So these green rings that I just messed up right here, those generally tend to give you an extra life. I think free-falling, I call them the free-falling sections, have been appearing ever since Unleashed. Yeah, I think I'm right. But generally Unleashed and controlled way, way worse than it does now, and in the recent games. It's improved so much, the skydiving mechanics. This place is also the best to grind for any enemy missions, because you can pretty much get like 100 per each run through this level. And it's also a great place to grind. You can keep dying there to get those 3 lives over and over again. It's pretty easy to grind lives in this game. And you'll need it if it's your first time. Now, one last comparison I want to make to Unleashed is just that this music in particular, doesn't it remind everyone of Empire City? It did for me the first time I heard it. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, here's the first Zomom boss. Now, I like the concept of this boss fight. I really, really do. It's just the boss itself. It's piss easy. They could have made it way harder. So basically, Zomom's tactic here is that he's going to try to butt slam you into the air and shoot very slow-moving spike balls at you. I never got hit once by those, by the way. I don't even know how you can get hit by those. But then, as you'll see right here, he's going to slam the platform and hopefully try to tilt you off. But, you know, since Sonic moves so quickly, that's kind of easy to avoid. I guess the reason a lot of the bosses in this game are easy are just because of Sonic's abilities, let's be honest here. He's kind of OP in comparison to the Deadly Six. I mean, he can move really quickly, he has a homing attack that can pretty much screw them over as soon as you lay sight on them. Like look at this. I'm just rolling around here. There's not much like effort into dodging these attacks. How is Zomom even falling down so slowly? Oh my gosh. Well, that's that. Yes, it's a little bit of an upgrade in comparison to Zaz, but not much. As I said before, I do like the concept of this boss fight, the tilting platform that you have to try stay on, but it's just it could have been implemented way better in this case. Alright, so now we see Eggman's true intentions for this game. His whole big evil plan is basically to suck out the energies, the planet's energy that's supposedly made out of Mountain Dew. I swear, didn't he already do this on Unleashed? Or in Colors? No. Colors was the amusement park. But Unleashed, he like broke out Dark Gaia. And now he's just a bunch of, you know, Mountain Dew. By the way, how's Cubot even managing to drink this without, you know, rusting? Or breaking down? I don't know, whatever. It's a Sonic game, I don't know why I'm questioning so much. I actually haven't had Mountain Dew in ages. Like, maybe was it like 10 years ago, maybe? I'm more of a Sprite and ginger ale kind of guy now these days. Man, I should really try it again sometimes. I forgot how it even tasted like. Oh snap! That's not gonna be a plot twist, like, later in this part or anything like that. Alright, so another circus unlocked. And, whoa, I did another mission? Oh yeah, collect 750 rings. And we unlocked one of the pointless RC devices. These devices might as well get out of the way now. I'll explain more of what they do later on. But basically, if you have two controllers, a second person can also join you on the so-called fun. But the thing is, it's like Super Mario Galaxy. The second player doesn't really play. It more like helps the actual player, like Mario or Sonic, by just jumping or making them invisible or just doing minor things like collecting rings. It's not really that fun. For the second player anyways. And now for Act 3, we're in Desert Ruins. See what Sega did there? But yeah, I have no clue what this thing is doing in the middle of the desert. Maybe it's just Sonic seeing a mirage, or he just walked into Zo-Mom's fantasy land. Regardless, it provides for some pretty fun platforming and level design. Still, it doesn't got much on Sweet Mountain, but it was nice to see they brought back something very similar. As I said before about the difficulty, though, this should have been like the first act in the zone, because this is way easier than Act 1 and Act 2. It's just crazy. Some props to give to Lost World is, for most of the stages in this game, every level is always kind of fresh and new, in the sense that it always has some sort of new gimmick towards it, or some level design feature that stands out from the rest. But keep in mind, not all of these design choices are brilliant and help improve the game. Some of them kind of lower the game's quality, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Anyways, for this right here, I'm not holding a single button down. It's one of those iconic moments in Sonic games where it's just the game plays for you. And I don't mind these moments, but this one in particular, it goes on for a little bit too long. That was like 15 seconds, what was it? But Sonic games have been doing that for ages, even since the classic games. Basically the hold right to win, or... Well, I wasn't even holding right, but it was just... Let Sonic play for you, just for a quick moments, I guess you can call them. Also, despite the level being kind of short, there's actually a lot of alternate routes you can take throughout this level, which is pretty cool. As I said before, this game's graphics are amazing, but this level in particular also stands out. I just wish the level design was a little bit more intense for what Zone Act 3 should have been. As I said before, it should have been reversed. These cannons really remind me of Oil Ocean Zone from Sonic 2. Or just Donkey Kong Country in general, but actually, fun fact, Sonic 2 came out before Donkey Kong Country, so I wonder who's copying who. But on a minor note, I'm really looking forward to Tropical Freeze. I'm a big Donkey Kong Country fan myself. With that being said, we're done with this level. We only got one more to go, and this next level what might have been one of those creative design choices I was talking about before. Not very many people are gonna like it. Also, on another note, is anyone else reminded of the level tropes from a certain other famous platforming game? that's used throughout this game. I mean, we had like the Windy Hill, the green grass level. Now we have a desert level. We'll have a beach and winter snow level coming out soon. No, I can't put my finger on it, but it just reminds me of another series. I think I might be actually doing a playthrough of it. Guess we'll never know. Alright, Omacha, what do you want this time? No, I've actually been doing some of these missions unintentionally. I'm just playing through the game, trying to get the red rings, and I just happened to get some of these missions done while in the process, which is good. But don't worry, I'll dedicate... Whoa! Talk about $5 footlong. Well, that's definitely not a footlong. Subway must have had a great deal. I guess this part is sponsored by both Mountain Dew and Subway. Sorry, guys. I'm a sellout. Nice dodge, Sonic. But unlike Mountain Dew, I actually love Subway. Granted, what I mean by that is I've actually been eating it recently, and pretty much every month or so. Oh no! Auto-scrolling in my Sonic game! Why am I talking in this accent? Oh, why, Sega, why? Why, Sega, why? Okay, that was pretty much my impression of the Sonic fan base, or at least the ones, you know, that tend to whine. Anyways, this isn't that bad, but I kind of agree it does slow down the game a bit. Auto-scrolling sections have been done in Sonic games before. This is definitely not the first time. It's also been featured in the Master System / the Game Gear games, as well as, it was actually used in Sonic 3 as well. Lava Reef Act 2, the end of that zone just before you fight Eggman, used it. But unlike in this, it was way more fast-paced and more intense, to the point where you just had to keep moving. In this, I have to slightly agree with the fans and everyone else's opinions on. It's just kind of slow, you know, you're just pretty much waiting for something to happen. Oh, and yes, the yellow Drill Wisp. This is my personal favorite Wisp in both colors and this game. So I feel like it suits Sonic the most, to drill underground really quickly. That's always been pretty fun to do in these games. And I'm also happy to report the controls are pretty good as well. At least in 2D. Because God knows that the 3D Drill Wisp is a completely different animal in comparison. It's one of those rare occasions I actually do prefer the 2D aspect to this game rather than the 3D. So yes, back to the auto-scrolling. Funny thing about this tornado is it has kind of a rubber band effect to it, in the sense that if you go too fast, like now, it's just gonna like catch up really quickly. It's like, wait, Sonic, wait for me. You know, it's pretty funny. Okay, I'm gonna concentrate for this red ring here, because it's gonna require some precision platforming. Duh. Okay. Trois, cat. Sank. Yes, bingo. Okay, sorry. Just certain parts of the game I have to focus with the extreme platforming. But we should be almost done here. Just a few more jumps and a few more loop-de-loops. Oh my gosh, see, even the camera got in the way of me going through that loop-de-loop. I had to literally wait and slow down for the tornado in order to progress. Okay, this last red ring, you just want to make sure you don't fall into the pit, the sand pit. Just jump to the side and you'll be okay. Ring heaven. Oh my gosh, I'm over 370 rings. Wow, it's a lot. Okay, so this boss fight, it's pretty random. Basically, just avoid Zo-Mom's attack right there and just supercharge his homing attack. And did that drill wisp just come out of his ass right there? Well, you know what they say. If it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. And I can't believe I just said that. Please forgive me, guys. It's been a long day. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's just finish this boss fight. I guess apparently that tornado this whole time was Zomom who controlled it. Okay, so basically for this second phase of the boss fight, you just have to do a wall jump around him. It's gonna come here again. Boom. And just wait for it. And there. He's pretty much dead. Once again, simple boss fight. In terms of difficulty, I guess it's the same as the first one, but, you know, that's not saying much. So there, that's Desert Ruins, guys. Granted, I'm going to be showcasing one last thing. However, we do have one more cutscene to go through, if I remember correctly. I just noticed those colored blocks in the background, but they were also in the first fight with Zomom. That was cool. There's actually some continuity there. Well, you gave Zomom a big giant sandwich. You know, if you wanted Zaz to do a good job, you should have given him like a blue hedgehog ass. You know, whatever turns him on. I like how Sonic and Tails just did some Mission Impossible stunt right over there. And Sonic is pretty much the reason why we have to go through 5 more worlds after this. Boom. There goes the conch shell. No more members. I love Eggman's face. He's like so shocked. And his old plans go downhill from here. And this is where the so-called plot twist comes into play. Because now, since Eggman no longer has control of his mechs, they are now turned against him, and he's now somewhat working together with Sonic. And yes, the game does explain how the Zeddy are able to control the mechs. Granted, it's in the old school BS fashion, but there is some explanation. This part is hilarious, if you ask me. The Zeddy really want to kill Eggman. Like, they literally try to rape him up to the point where he's dead. Like, look at this right now. Zomom is pretty much like could kill Eggman just by sitting on him. You know, if they did like a sumo wrestling match, Zomom would definitely win that match. But it's one of those instances where Sonic leaps before he thinks. Yes. And once again, Eggman, the robots, both Cuba and Orbot, are both able to catch up to Sonic. Obviously, Sonic's just slowing down for dramatic effect. So yeah, we're done with Desert Ruins right now. One crazy part. But anyways, I'm just going to showcase a different type of bonus game for the circus. And then I'll call it a day. And we also got the second Chaos Emerald. Only 5 more to go. Awesome stuff. And in the next part, we unlock this beach area. Where we'll be facing another new Zeddy that we haven't seen or encountered yet. So, alright, let's do this last one. Okay, so the second type right here should be the cannon. Yep, this is my favorite type of bonus game for the circuses, just for the fact it's way easier to control than the trampoline and the other type, which we'll be seeing in another part. It's so much easier just to pinpoint where you want to shoot. Granted, Sonic will still bounce around off of the balloons, but you have more control, which is very beneficial for getting a lot of animals. I was actually hoping that this would be one of the circuses that Tails actually joins you, because he actually does for some of the circuses. And basically, you'll have 2 pieces of ammo to work with, so it's double efficiency, and you can get even more animals that way. Sometimes even Orbot and Cubot join as well. At the max, you can actually have 3 pieces of ammo at one time, so that's actually pretty cool that they added that in the game. So I'm just going to finish this last circus game and call it wraps for this part. And there we have it. Okay guys, stay tuned for part 3 where we'll be going to Tropical Resort. No, sorry, I mean Emerald Coast. And no! I mean, what is it? Tropical Coast. There it is, Tropical Coast. Sorry. Anyways, take care guys. See you in part 3.